Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome back to our new lesson that is relating to the topic work, energy, and power. In our previous topic, we have discussed about the work, and now we are going to discuss about the next thing, that is the energy. What is energy? It is the basic thing relating to this topic. This is a question. What is the energy? If we are going to just discuss about the energy, we can see the energetic person having the energy to do something. Means if we call a person energetic, then we means that that person has some energy, some ability to do something. So if we are going to define the energy, it is actually the ability to do work. What do we mean by the ability to do work? Means any object is able to do or able to perform a specific task. And if we just consider the universe, we comes to know that the universe is made up of by the combination of energy and matter. Matter, it is the substance, and energy, it is actually the mover of the substance. Our universe is made up of the substances, and all the substances are on move in one way or the other. So there is a combination of energy and matter in the universe, and energy is actually the ability to do something or the transfer of energy from one object to the other. So there are 6 fundamental forms of energy which are just existing or which are just be distinguishable within our limits of topics. That is one. First one is the mechanical energy. Second one is the thermal energy, which is also known as a heat energy. Then electromagnetic energy, electrical energy, nuclear energy, and chemical energy. In this lesson, or up till in O1s, we are only going to discuss the mechanical energy. So mechanical energy, it is actually the energy due to the movement of an object, the energy possessed by the object due to its movement or due to its position. Both of these two types of energies will be called the mechanical energy. So both of these two have some specific names for them. That is energy due to object's motion. If the energy is possessed by an object due to its movement, then it is called its kinetic energy. And if the energy is possessed by the object due to its position, position means if we just raise it up against the gravity to some height, then it has some position with respect to the ground level. So then that object will be possessing some energy, and that energy will be known as the potential energy. But we will discuss it more, a little bit more, just in the upcoming slides. So in this slide, I have an example of a bowling ball and the pins. The bowling ball has a mechanical energy. When we throw it, it is moving, and it has a mechanical energy which is known as the kinetic energy. The pins are just stable at their position. When the ball is going to strike these pins, that mechanical energy will be transferred to the pins. That means the ball is able to do something. Is it? Then how is all energy divided? Actually, in our previous slide, which we have been discussed, that it is of basically two types. That is, the all the energy which is existing in the universe is of basically two types: potential and kinetic energy. And then kinetic energy is actually of three types: gravitational potential energy, elastic potential energy, and chemical potential energy. We are going to just discuss, or we are just going to ponder upon the gravitational potential energy, because these two things are not just included in the syllabus of O1s. Okay, then gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy. These will be the two forms of energy which will be discussed. So what is the difference between the potential and the kinetic energy? So potential energy is the energy of position, energy due to the position, or energy in storage. So, okay, and for example, water behind a dam, hammer over the head, or food on the plate. All of these things have some energy in them due to their position, raised position. Whereas kinetic energy is the energy of motion, that is the form capable of doing work. For example, flowing water, energy possessed by the flowing water, then a falling hammer means it is moving downwards, or the energy possessed by a moving train or an aeroplane. So potential energy, if we want to calculate it, then apparently the object will have some position, raised position with respect to the ground level. That is called the height of the object, which is presented by h. G is the gravitational field strength, which is normally or actually 9.8 meters per second square or 9.8 newtons per kilogram. And rounded off figure will be used, that is 10 meter per second square, and m will be the mass of the object. So these three things actually matter, uh, which decides the amount of potential energy possessed by an object. So potential energy can be calculated by the form of potential energy can be calculated by the formula, that is uh, uh, PE, potential energy, is equals to mass into height into gravity. Is it? So it is in symbolic form, we can write it down as PE is equals to mgh. So here the few examples are there. A huge lump of mass is there. If it is going to fall down, it can do a lot of damage to the things just underneath it. So then there is a dog just moving on a rope, and apparently it is just in the raised position, and it has some potential energy in it. If it just falls from the rope, then some damage will be done to its body due to that possessed energy. What is potential energy? We have discussed it a lot. We have discussed it about it in the previous slides, two slides. That is, it is the energy possessed by the objects which are just in some higher position with respect to the ground. Then there is elastic potential energy. The second thing is there. It is actually the energy possessed by an object due to the compression or expansion of an elastic object. For example, an elastic band, if it is stretched or compressed, a spring, if it is compressed, then the energy will be possessed by both of these two, and this will become. What is chemical potential energy? It is the energy possessed by the chemical bonds of a substance. Okay? For example, the fuel, coal is there, and it is the energy possessed by different materials. The battery cells, they also contain the chemical potential energy. Like this one, these cells have the chemical potential energy due to the bonds present between their chemicals present in them. Then what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is actually the energy possessed by an object due to its movement. And if we just cut the rope of of an object just which is hanging just above the ground, then it will move downward and will do some work due to its energy possessed by it due to its movement. Here it is stable, and it is containing the potential energy. But when it starts to move downward, then its potential energy will start to convert into kinetic energy. Uh, Apparently, almost all the potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy when it is going to strike the ground. So the moving object, as it moves downwards, it will gaining the speed due to the increasing kinetic energy. Okay. And if we are going to find out the kinetic energy of an object, then its formula will be equals to half into mass into speed square. Means 1 by 2 into m into v square. Mass will have the unit of kilograms and speed will have the unit of meter per second. Then an example is there of a roller coaster. That is actually, if roller coaster is here, kinetic energy is zero, potential was maximum, and as it is moving downward at the ground level, just have a look here. As it is gaining height, potential energy is increasing, and as it is moving towards the ground level, its kinetic energy is increasing. It means at the ground level, the kinetic energy is maximum, and at the highest position where its potential energy will be maximum. Is it? So just have a close look at these two bars. So okay, moving towards the next slide now. Again, another example is there. A skier just who is skiing just on the snow. First of all, the packed snow and then the unpacked snow. Soft snow means, and at this point, potential energy is maximum. Moving downwards, potential energy is decreasing, means changing into kinetic energy. And at the ground level, all the potential energy has changed into kinetic. And on the soft snow, its kinetic energy is going to decrease and decrease due to the frictional force. And at the end, it comes to a stop. So the formula to find out the kinetic energy, that is K is equals KE, kinetic energy is equals to half mv square. And the units I have just discussed before, kilograms and meter per second. But the energy, either it is potential or kinetic or any other form, energy will have a unit of joules. So, okay. So here is an example, 4 kilogram bowling ball moving at a speed of 10 meter per second. Then its kinetic energy will be equals to 0.5 into 4, that is the mass, and into its speed. If we just multiply them, we will get the answer. The kinetic energy will be 200 joules. Another example is there. If a baseball of 0.25 kilogram moving with a speed of 50 meter per second, then its kinetic energy will be half into 0.5 into mass into v square, and by solving we will get that 312 joules energy will be here. One thing is just considerable here, the mass is too much higher as compared to this one. 0.25 kilograms means fourth part of 1 kilogram, and this is 4 kilogram, but it is moving at a higher speed than this one, so it is having more kinetic energy. Means the speed effect, if we double the speed, the kinetic energy will increase by 4 times, means by the square of the increase in energy, that is v square. Is it? So the last thing, the law of conservation of energy, it is actually energy present in the universe is constant all the time. And this is the law that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It may be transformed from one form into another, but the total amount of energy never changes. Total amount of energy remains constant. This is a statement for the law of conservation of energy. So, boys, that's all for today. Up till to our next lesson on coming Monday again, inshallah. Take care of yourself. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.